don't know. I got here.
That's what I said we should do. When I was like, they're just gonna do this. I was like, we need to get in front of those farmers, you know, when we just want. No. Have a little grocery store and a little store. Yep.
Alright, let me look through the bag over here and see what we got. Well, nothing in there. So, I guess we don't have an agenda then. We got, there's something there? There we are. Joe?
They're supposed to be public comment towards the end.
You're thinking of equal.
I caught that shit the first time I read that about the electricity, and I'm like, so I went back and I read it 2 other times to make sure I left it like that.
Now,
Tom's had posted that. I mean,
are we good?
You good?
All right. It is 6:32, I'm gonna call the agenda, zoning and economic development meeting to order. Roll call, Kathy Schmidt. Present. Hannah Fitzpatrick. Joseph Kuhlman.
Here.
Bob Sanders. And the chair, Gil Turner, is here. Introduction of guests. Anybody want to introduce themselves tonight? Did you have a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
Is there any additions or corrections?
No.
I don't see anything.
I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
Make a motion?
Kathy made the motion,
Yep. The minutes are printed.
Second.
and second by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. If it is all right with the committee, I would like to move public comments to the top of the list.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna go ahead and have public comments before we have the rest of the meeting. Do we have the sign-in sheet there for anybody that wants to have a public comment? Matt, would you bring that up there for me? Does anybody else want to sign that?
I signed it. You signed it? Okay.
Thank you, Dale. Okay. Looks like the first one, we'll give you 3 minutes like we have in the past. The first one is Tanya Ritchie.
Okay, I want to ask a question, but I have to read this first. This is a Q&A between Greg Irwin of HUD 8 and the Illinois Times. Okay, and these are his responses to their questions. I'm not going to read the whole thing, because the whole thing doesn't necessarily deal with us. But what we came down to is it says that, in addition, we've agreed to enter a proposed annexation agreement that includes a community benefits agreement expected to provide the village with approximately $8 million to $11 million annually. Based on the village's current population, that is equivalent approximately to $50,000 to $75,000 per household annually in total community benefits. Village officials have identified several potential uses for the funds, which could include property tax relief, assistance with electricity costs, of which we have been led to believe our electricity costs aren't going up, so why do they need a fund? Can anybody answer that? And if Greg's here, I'll ask him. That's a question. So, can anybody answer that? Why would they need a fund if their power bills aren't going up? No answers? Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your comments. Rachel Steckman. Rachel?
Hi. So I don't have anything in particular prepared, but I did want to publicly ask that my board member, who is Gil Turner and does not respond to my emails, that he support the moratorium that is on the agenda. And especially since we are at the zoning meeting right now, I've spoken with the zoning officer, and he's told me that part of the reason that we struggle so much with having the ordinances enforced on our wind turbines is because we do not have an enforcement officer. I'd like to ask that that be made a priority during the moratorium so that whatever projects come next, we actually have the ability to enforce whatever ordinance is in place. That's it.
Thank you. And since you brought up Mr. Green, if you noticed, he is not here tonight. I got a call from him at 2 o'clock, and if you're not aware, he's got a daughter that's been very ill, and he got a call, and I think him and his wife are headed to Minnesota to see their daughter. So that's the reason Mr. Green is not here tonight.
I didn't ask.
Oh,
That's why you don't answer my email.
Hannah Fitzpatrick is here at, looks like 6:37. Hi, Hannah.
There you go.
And we have one more, Shaw. Mrs. Shaw?
I got the last name in there. I just wanted to say I would encourage the board to support the strongest ordinances that we can craft for the well-being of the county, not any company. So as far as decommissioning, or if there's any thought about regular ordinance that was voted down at one time, I don't know what might be coming down the pipe. And to very much support, especially a 12-month moratorium in order to learn more. It's just vastly expanding day by day, the information, the facts, and the experiences people are having with this. And I would also just really like to support whatever we can do to have the bike trail become a reality here in Logan County. I'd really like to see that. I think it'd be a great thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, next thing on the agenda is decommissioning ordinance for the data center. We actually kicked that down the road last month because our state's attorney, Mr. Howey, just said that it probably wasn't beneficial till we actually had an ordinance. And we still do not have a regular ordinance, so if it's all right with the committee, we will put it on the agenda for next month. All right. Bike trail discussion. Did you guys get the email that was sent by Karen Kahn? And I got through about 15 or 16 pages of it. Anyway, what she is asking is that Logan County be the sponsor for the grant for the bike trail. So, we need a sponsor for the bike trail to apply for the grant. And Kuhn and help me, I can't think of his last name.
Trillo, I think.
Trillo, yeah. Have been proposed to do the research and get the grant for us at no charge for the county. We won't have anything committed. All we have to do is, if it gets approved, and they're looking for $5 million, it's gonna cost about $1 million a mile, that's a guess, to build the bike trail. When I talked to Karen Kuhn, about 3 or 4 days ago, I thought they were gonna start in Atlanta and work south, but according to this, email we got, they're gonna start at the Logan County line, which is about 111 mile marker, and work north. So anyway, that's kind of an overview. If we could get a motion for that.
I have a question.
Well, let's get a motion and a second, then we can start talking about it.
I'll make a motion. We send it out for workshop, sponsor.
And, can I go ahead, this is the motion you wanna make, if I can do that, because she's actually got it really detailed here. Is that okay? All right, this is the motion. Motion to authorize Logan County to be identified as the proposed sponsor of an Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program application. You don't have to write all this down.
Good, it's here.
Application for the first phase of the Route 66 Heritage Trail from Williamsville to Edward R. Madigan State Fish and Wildlife Area. And to authorize Kevin Kuhn and Trello to prepare the application at no charge to Logan County. The appropriate county officials are authorized to confirm and provide the sponsor and county audit information required for application preparation. The authorization is limited to application development and communication with the Illinois Department of Transportation. It does not authorize final submission, commit county funds, approve a local match, execute post-award agreements, authorize project phases or paid engineering services, acquire or lease property, or authorize execution of any funding, lease, or intergovernmental agreement. I'm about done. The complete application details cost estimate, proposed funding sources, estimate county financial exposure, and resolution of financial commitment must be presented to the Logan County Board for separate review and approval before submission. No application may be submitted, and no financial obligation may be incurred without subsequent specific authorization from the Logan County Board. So I think it's pretty plain, we don't have anything, all we're gonna do is just ask for the grant, and this, Kuhn and Trillo are gonna do all the work for us. Now, yes,
So my question was about what the funding would be if there being a responsibility for the county, but that says no.
there's no, and we won't have any responsibility until the grant is given. And then, according to Karen Kahn, that could be anywhere from 5 to 10% of what the grant is. And that don't mean the county have to stand at all. Hopefully we can find some other help if it's 5 or 10%. Hopefully we can find somebody else to help us. But anyway, the good thing about it is we don't have to make any decisions about building or commitments. All we have to do is just approve this and then let the firm go ahead and do their work. So, are we ready to put the vote?
I think so.
Let's do a roll call vote. Kathy Schmidt,
Yes.
Hannah Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Joseph Kuhlman,
Yes.
and Gilbert Turner, yes. All right.
Hey, Gil,
Yes,
just a little side note, I can add 2,000 on here
we're in the process as well, of meeting with Sangamon County.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna try to reach an agreement for their portion from Williamsville to the county line.
Yes.
So that if the grant does go through, we both know where we stand and they know where they stand, so.
Yep, good information, thank you.
Yep.
All right, letters of support for the Viper Mine Grant. We already did this. This inadvertently got put back on the agenda because there was a misunderstanding. We made it good through September, but August 27th is the last day you can apply for the grant. So there's no use actually working on this. Now let's get to the fun part. New business. Data center moratorium ordinance. Now, I just talked,
Oh, yes.
well, I think to do this right, I think we have to have a motion, and then we get a second, and then we can discuss it. So Hannah, you ready to make a motion?
Yes, I'll make the motion to discuss the data center moratorium ordinance. Second.
Okay.
And then, this would need to go to Brad, but I typed up a moratorium for 12 months for large scale data.
Okay. Hannah, would you like to fill the people in on this a little bit?
I have some extra copies, if they want to look at them, or should I pass them out, or?
I'm asking you, you need to stand up and maybe give an overview, or we can hand the few copies out we got.
Here, I'll just pass out the few copies.
Okay. Thank you,
They
Kevin.
don't have to.
And it looks like it says ordinance number, of course.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, all we did, you just made a motion. Oh,
Yes,
no,
I
what?
just made a motion to discuss it, to send it to Brad.
Yeah, you got a second. Yeah, you seconded it. Oh, yeah, so the motion will be then, when we get to it, the motion will be to send it to Brad. That's what we're actually gonna do.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
If
I'm
we
gonna
pass
send
it.
this to Brad if we pass
If
it.
we pass,
So I can
okay.
send it
No.
to Brad.
So, you folks can listen up here, I'll, an ordinance establishing a temporary moratorium on the acceptance, processing, and approval of applications for large-scale data center facilities in unincorporated Logan County, Illinois. Code, powers, scope. The article applies to large-scale data centers, 100 megawatts and larger, siting and operations in unincorporated Logan County, Illinois, other than those areas surrounding municipal limits governed by municipal ordinance. The purpose in the large-scale data center moratorium is to put a pause for 12 months for the date of this past moratorium. This will safeguard the county of Logan from any potential negative effects to the health of citizens, water, air quality, endangered species, habitats, local infrastructure, and conservation lands located in the county of Logan. This gives the county the desired time to study the potential impacts. And then there's a definition again, temporary moratorium established, duration. Is there anything else, Hannah, that
No,
we
that's
are
it.
kind of pretty close?
Yes, it's just very
There's
simple,
another page there,
straightforward.
this kind of fills in the blanks. So,
Any questions?
yeah. You know, we've actually, none of this stuff is actually new.
No, but the last one wasn't legal.
Yeah.
It wasn't valid, so this would go to Brad, Brad would okay it, and then we would need to send it to ZBA. And then that way, we would then vote on it as a whole board after ZBA approved. And then the moratorium was valid or invalid to
Yeah, I think it goes through the CBA, back through here, and then
Yes,
but you gotta go back through, it's gotta make the circle.
yes.
But my question is, what do you expect to gain by having another 12 months?
It says, we don't have an ordinance, we have no zoning ordinance, so any data center, not including HUD, any data center could apply to build a large-scale data center in Logan County. We have nothing stopping them, we have no, they can put whatever, there's no zoning ordinance, we have no protections in place. So why would we put a moratorium in place until we can finalize a zoning ordinance for data centers?
So wouldn't it make more sense just to have a moratorium until we pass an ordinance?
No.
I mean, we can always go back and vote after we have a zoning ordinance to cancel if it's in here. It says the moratorium will be in effect for 12 months for the effective date of this ordinance unless earlier terminated or extended by further action of the county board of Logan. So I mean, the county board can come back and change it after we have a zoning ordinance for data centers if the board so chooses.
So we can actually just, so according to what you're telling me, this is written so that we can actually,
If the board would want to, after we pass the moratorium for
we
12
can
months,
cancel it.
if, however long it takes us to make the zoning ordinances, if something were to change with state regulations, national regulations, anything for large-scale data centers and how they're built or how the power works for companies, it does say that in here. We can go the whole 12 months, we can make it less than 12 months. Yeah. On, number 5, indoor rations.
Joe?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay. Well,
I say that's fine with me as long as we could change the amount of time. I think you and I talked about that, so you didn't tell me 12 months when we talked about it, so that's my only thing.
well, folks, I'm gonna vote for this tonight. I'm still against it. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's setting us up for maybe some lawsuits later on. But I do agree that we should, move it forward, let Brad look at it, and we'll let the members of the board then decide what they want to do, so.
And then we send it to ZBA after, then we have to go.
So this vote is actually to send this to Brad for his approval.
Yes, and then if Brad were to approve it, we could either put it on workshop agenda or bring it off the floor. Mr. Nelson, do you know?
You can bring them off the floor at workshop.
Okay. And then it would go to ZBA?
The board would approve it at the regular board meeting, and then we can send it to RPC, ZBA,
And then come
and
back?
then come back to the board
Okay.
directly for approval or,
Okay.
it would have to come back through the committee once the ZBA was done with it.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm just curious, is that like 2 months?
No, it would be if Brad approves it before workshop, we could bring it off the floor at workshop. So then it could potentially be on September, ZBA or CPA. And then if it made it through September's, then it could go on to September for the county board.
Yeah.
To this?
I think it's gotta go, but I think it's gotta go through planning and ZBA both.
Yes, and then it would go to the county board.
And then
as a whole.
zoning, then workshop, and then,
So it's possible to get it done by September?
yes.
No, so if it came out of the workshop this month and the board approved it to send to RPZBA, which would make the deadline, I think it was like first week of September. Once ZBA is done with it, it can go straight to the board for a vote. It doesn't have to come back to the committee.
Oh,
Kind of like the ordinance where they gave the recommendations and we went to the board, and if there was recommendations, you would make those amendments off, or part of the agenda to approve whatever ZBA or RPC gives.
so it doesn't have to come back through the zoning, is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay.
To clarify though, it would have to be the September ZBA meeting.
Correct.
Since we are not having an August one. Yeah.
Correct. It would not make August.
Are we ready to vote? Let's take a roll call vote.
You got it.
Yes.
Is that good?
Oh,
You know, I just have a couple questions.
Yes.
And I figured I'd come tonight to the workshop, and I just wanna make sure that we beforehand talk to Brad about this.
Yes, we're gonna send this to Brad, and if Brad doesn't get
So
through it
having
before
more
workshop,
in
we'll
place
wait.
with the current application already in progress, there's no concern for future validation or litigation, anything like that.
No. This would be, I think this would only go in effect, it would not be like, so if HUD, I don't know how that would work, but,
And the reason I'm asking these now, regardless if I support it or not, I don't wanna put on here, everybody leaving thinking we're gonna have a moratorium, and then 2 weeks later Brad's like, hey, you can't because we already have an application in place. I don't know that, that's why I wanted to make sure that if that went to
So-
Barrett or where.
I think if any data centers were to apply before this were to go into effect, they would not be included in this, is my understanding. So this would only affect any more than 12 months, so if a data center were to apply after this is in effect, they would be included. If a data center were to apply before this is in effect, they would still have to go through the proper process, and then if this passed after, anything that would be after would be included. So so right now, if they were to apply before this went into effect, we'd have to do all the voting process for that, for whatever data center to apply. Does that make sense?
I think-
Yeah, I understand that. My question was, this is why I wanted to make sure Brad gave his legal opinion on it, so we don't get further down the line and a different data center comes along and says, hey, I'm gonna apply, but now you have a moratorium in place and claiming discrimination because of headache.
So
And then
this-
we're now in litigation again.
So the purpose to safeguard from potential negative health effects, citizens, water, air quality, it basically says it gives us more time to study those effects. And that is what the reason for the moratorium is. You have to basically say why you wanna do a moratorium, and then you have to give reasons. And we don't have a zoning ordinance or anything, and we have studied those, so that would be our reason why we're having a moratorium.
And the only reason I was asking about litigation, just so everybody's aware, part of HUD-8's legal litigation against us is for 2 potential board members. One in January requested them to remove their ZBA application with a promise that an ordinance would pass with a conditional use permit. The other one is discrimination because a board member offered or asked for funding to be donated to a project for a vote, which we were notified back in March, which is split for pro. So I'm just trying to make sure we're not going forward and everything's been validated from Brad prior to getting to the workshop, things like that.
I have a question.
They never told us name in their complaint, and the notification just said Logan County. That's what the discrimination part was, and that happened in January, March, before we knew about it until they sent us the legal notice. A lot of things that were going on, a lot of people don't know about. That's why I wanted to share it, I don't wanna open this up for more litigation going forward, and that everything was been reviewed, the ordinance,
It'd be any applications after the moratorium ordinance goes into effect, so anything before would not be included in the moratorium ordinance.
No, we knew that.
So you have spoken to Brad?
I'm gonna send this.
Unless they draft or submit like they have freaking told to.
No, I'm gonna call him today, but.
We keep it.
But what we're actually voting on, just send this to Brad.
Yeah.
Yes, and if Brad doesn't approve it, then we're back to square one.
So is HUD-8, prior to this, are you saying basically that HUD-8's a shoe-in anyway because?
This is just for data centers in general.
But does it apply to HUD-8 or not?
No.
We don't know. That'll be for the lawyers to decide. And I said lawyers, there's not just one, there's several, so we don't know the answer to that. Yes.
For me, this is the first I've heard that HUD-8 is in active litigation against any.
not active, that was part of the legal challenge for potential litigation when they served this legal notice.
So contingent.
Was not
You wanna
just
work with the people
moratorium,
that'll
it was
fucking-
other complaints.
So they were giving out all favors. HUD-8
No, HUD-8 did not.
Oh, somebody asked them for favors. Oh,
Yes.
I was right all along.
We all were.
Okay, I was right all along. I thought maybe.
So,
Yeah.
you ready to vote on this?
That makes me feel good.
Okay. We'll do a roll call vote, and what do you want to ask? You ready?
Okay.
All right. Kathy Smith,
Yes.
Hannah Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Joseph Coolman,
Yes.
Gil Turner, yes.
It doesn't.
Unanimous.
I still want to ask.
All right, that gets us through. David Center. And as I said, we will not have a report from the zoning officer, Mr. Green's not here. Approval of bills. I don't think we have any bills, do we? I didn't see any.
You know what that is?
We already did the public comments. Is there anything else?
Can we just clarify the group that Brad hasn't reviewed this, so he may come back and say this is not valid, or come back and say yes, and we can move forward through the process.
So
I
just
wanna
to be
make
sure, everybody heard this, it's not a done deal till it gets through the state's attorney.
And you would have to send it to ZBA for a workshop.
Several steps, but
Yeah,
beginning with our.
but this is the
yes,
first
attorney.
step. I didn't even know where to come through the door.
Just one thing, I forgot to comment.
Why didn't the state's attorney here?
Yeah, I agree. Our prayers go with the Green family. Yeah.
Oh, it's the pressure of Green family.
Oh, yes, appreciate it, I thank you for bringing that up. If you don't, do you wanna do that?
No, that's fine, I was gonna do it in my comments and I forgot.
Ah,
I always get nervous.
I got Kathy here, I always like, we're gonna pray for the Green family.
Oh, what is it, what about?
Oh,
Just apparently the daughter's ill and they're on the.
You mean Al? Oh,
Al,
Al, oh,
yeah,
yeah,
Al Green, yeah.
she's seriously ill.
and, several months ago or a year ago, she was involved in a little wreck, and it just turned into a,
She's an invalid because of a drunk driver.
but anyway, Heavenly Father, I wanna just hold up Al Green and his family right now. I want you to take your loving hand and put it over them and just give them courage and, comfort, and we ask that you just heal his daughter.
Yes.
Ashley, heal his daughter Ashley. Lord, all this, we just, our hearts go out to the family, and just let them know that we're there with them in this time of need. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Did we adjourn yet? Okay, we got a motion, we got a second by Kathy. All in favor of adjournment? Aye. Thank you very much for, I really thank you for that.
I'll have to sit away from you. I'll sit on the other side of you. Make sure you put the bar back in. It's still on. This is why I can't do that. I wish we could. This is why I can't.